I understand you deserve me, Ryan. I understand you have an attitude and spirit, so let's get it on.
All right, Ted. All right, we're really excited to have you up in this area. I know there's a lot of excitement about the show tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the guys are excited. We love playing everywhere, but I got a lot of friends up in Canada, a lot of hunting buddies, a lot of fishing buddies, a lot of hardcore gung-ho rock and roll buddies, so it's going to be a roustabout, I guarantee you that.
Right on, Ted. I've heard the new singles, man. The band sounds tight.
Yeah, we live this music. The guys are so passionate about every song, every concert, every jam. I got Mick Brown on drums, probably the world's greatest drummer. Greg Smith on bass guitar, one of the most grinding, driving, soulful bass players a guitar player could ever dream of jamming with. And Derek St. Holmes, my Detroit soul brother, is back in the band. That incredible voice and guitar playing that he did on Stranglehold and Hey Baby and Just What the Doctor Ordered. So we've had the greatest tour of my life this year, which is unbelievable because last year was the greatest tour of my life, and this year we're actually eclipsing it. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of spirit, a lot of attitude. The intensity of the band is just unlike anything I've ever seen. It's almost uncontrollable every night. The people love this kind of passionate rhythm and blues rock and roll. So when we bring it up to Canada, God help all of you.
Well, I know we are super excited to have you up here. And I've read in interviews that you've done before, and you kind of refer to your music as this musical beast.
Well, it is. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm a disciplined man. I was raised in a very disciplined environment. I've been clean and sober my whole life, so I've been able to completely just miss and discard the nonsense of peer pressure and all this other fashion, trendy crap that sheep-like people fall prey to. So I consider myself a pretty tough, disciplined guy, But when it comes to my music, I'm on the borderline of helplessness. The music has a power of its own. And again, Ryan, you got to see my musicians from the 1950s. Every band I've been surrounded by, every drummer, every bass player, these guys they're not human beings. I don't know what they are, but they're just monsters of rhythm and spirit and energy and creativity. They're not just brilliant virtuosos, but they're great gentlemen. So they have a not just a passion for the music, but they care about how we collaborate on the music. So there's a higher level of awareness on stage every night. And Mick and Greg and Derek and I have this not only fun-loving, music-loving relationship, but we're always challenging each other. There's an unlimited adventure to our music. You just don't know where it's going to go. So what happens is I will scream so intensely, I will grind on the guitar so insanely that I got to watch myself or I'll just blow up or fall off the stage or something. So the music has a force of its own, a life of its own, and I think that's why, all these years later, 50 years later, not only is this the most fun tour of my life, but we're setting attendance records again in 2011. Are you kidding me? We're defying gravity. So I got to be careful every night on stage or I might hurt myself.
Do you feel like you need to be challenged in the studio to really kind of be at your best?
Well, I'm a challenging guy. I challenge myself. I still crave the music like I did when I was a kid. I'm an old man now. I'm 63 this year. But again, I have to emphasize, 63 years clean and sober makes you healthy. It makes you intense. It provides a higher level of awareness, a higher level of compassion and passion. So I kind of forced myself to not just travel the road less traveled, but I intently and intentionally pursue non-roads, untraveled places where no one's ever gone before. And I'm well aware that John Coltrane and Yusef Lateef and the Jazz Masters and Sun Ra and the really, really crazed musical adventurers have gone where no one can imagine. But I got to tell you, Derek and Mick and Greg and I, we really do brutalize the music. We are true and reverential to Cat Scratch Fever and Fred Bear and Stranglehold and Raw Dogs and War Hogs and Dog Eat Dog and Free for All and Hey Baby. We're reverential to the identity of those songs, but oftentimes, every night, numerous times, we go off into musical tangents that just don't have any identification. You have to see it to believe it. And these guys they're such incredible musicians that there's nothing they can't do. There's nothing we can't do, so we push ourselves. Now, when it gets time to go in the studio, we realize you're going to make a statement in a 3, 4, 5, 10-minute song, whatever. You have to maintain a compositional integrity and a statement that is universal. Now, I'm not thinking commerciality, but rather how can I best imprint the joy and the love I have for this musical passage, this lyrical statement. How can I best convey that in a limited recording versus an unlimited stage of adventure every night? So we take those into consideration, and then we just jam like idiots.
Do you think it's better when you kind of have those constraints? Like, do you prefer kind of just letting the music flow free, or do you like the challenge of kind of constraining it and putting limitations to it that you have in the studio?
Ryan. Both of them are wonderful endeavors. Both of them are extremely gratifying because on stage, and again, and I don't know if my friends in Canada really understand what I'm trying to say here, because I literally go to the precipice of death on stage at night. And let me explain that in civilian terms. When we get to the crescendos, and every song has at least a couple crescendos, when we get to those, and I don't know if your listeners have ever seen James Brown live back in the 60s, or maybe you saw the Tammy television show.
Yeah, of course.
But I learned from James Brown and Wilson Pickett and Little Richard and Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and I Put a Spell on You, Screaming Jay Hawkins. These guys, and Mitch Ryder from Detroit with the Detroit Wheels. These masters of musical mayhem and fiery passion taught me that if you're going to scream, there should be blood. If you're going to really make a statement, whether it's the peak of the guitar solo or a peak of a chorus where you're really driving home, listen to Wilson Pickett sing Hey Jude, the Beatles song, and listen to his crescendo at the end. I literally have to intellectually constrain myself so I don't scream my lungs out and just blow up on stage, because I love the music so much. Let's put it this way, Ryan. If it wasn't me up there, I'd go see me, because my band propels me into the uncharted hinterland of just maniacal intensity. So I have to harness that. As you can hear in my voice right now, we've done about 40-some concerts this year. Mm-hmm. I think 50 now. And I literally have to just hold back just to the edge where my head doesn't come off. And a lot of times the guys will hug me after the show and go, "Are you okay? Are you going to be okay?"
You leave it all on the ice.
Because I literally give it all every song, every night, as do my fellow bandmates. So Toronto's in for the most intense, high-energy rock and roll, rhythm and blues, animal orgy celebration they've ever witnessed in their lives. And Ryan, we're the only band that plays like this anymore. Nobody else does, because nobody else can.
Well, you definitely got that right. I mean, I just listening to the new singles you've got up on your website. It's like it's just so raw and it's so powerful, and you can hear it. You know, you can hear you go into that to the extreme, and just kind of, you know, as we say in hockey, you leave it all on the ice, right?
Yeah, it's no coincidence that the song title is "I Still Believe," because we are at a dangerous, frightening, and extremely challenging crossroads in America, and I think the world, where we are coming to the end of our gimme entitlement expectation life, and where rugged individualism is meeting bloodsuckerdom. And the bloodsuckers who don't earn their own way are going to have to, at some point, find their bootstraps to pull themselves up by. And those of us that would never allow ourselves to take something we didn't earn or get something we didn't work for, we are fed up with those that are expecting a redistribution of our earnings, and that's the most simple way to put it. And politically speaking, the riots in London, the the fact that our government here in the United States, the Department of Justice, Ryan, the President and the Attorney General, the bureaucracy known as the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency, that they knowingly broke the law and sent guns illegally to drug-murdering monsters in Mexico. Our government did that, Ryan. It's unbelievable, the corruption and the abuse of power we're facing. So the song I Still Believe represents Davy Crockett at the Alamo, the Marines at Iwo Jima and Mount Suribachi. We still believe that being the best that you can be is the human dream. It is the American dream. It is the Canadian dream. And that we will not take this governmental abuse any longer. So there's a passion. There's a warlike battle cry to our politics here in America. And the song I Still Believe, and my spirit and my friends and my family and a lot of people around the world are ready to vote these bastards out. And we hope it can be done at the voting booth, and we do still believe it can.
Do you feel like you're standing alone there on the front lines?
No, not at all, Ryan. Right now, the great family organization that I'm proud to be on the board of directors, the most powerful grassroots organization in the world, the National Rifle Association, we're coming down on these bureaucracies and these bureaucrats and these attorney generals and these elected officials that are pissing in the face of the people that they work for, that are wiping their ass with the United States Constitution. We're coming down. We, the people of America, the Tea Party, the National Rifle Association, all kinds of grassroots family organizations in this country are demanding accountability. That's all we are asking. In fact, I take that back. It's all we are demanding, accountability. And there's a huge, growing daily army of we the people citizens in America and around the world, even your own government. You know, the Canadian people have been sheep for a long time, and you're starting to demand more and more that the government is accountable, that you have certain God-given inalienable rights. And I see a great upgrade happening in Canada, and here in America, it's on the fast track. So, no, I'm not alone. You go to tednugent.com, and you read the incredible testimonies from people all around, not just America, but my friends in Canada, over in Germany and Spain and England and France and Ireland, and all around the world. People have logic and they have common sense, and we're demanding logic, common sense, and self-evident truth go back into policy making. And I feel a good positive energy. I feel a great army out there, Ryan. And that's why they keep showing up to my concerts, because I play the soundtrack for that defiance. I play the soundtrack for independence. I play the soundtrack for rugged individuality. And that's the American human dream. That's how God wants us to live. And I make the guitar noise to support it.
Right on. And you have another song up there too that I got to tell you I've been digging. I've been singing it to myself. I love my barbecue.
It's funny, Brian, because I love my barbecue too.
I'm a wannabe grill master, Ted.
In fact, our music is the ultimate soundtrack for people flipping dead things on a grill.
No kidding, no kidding. And I know you're quite the culinary whiz. I know you've released the cookbook.
Yeah, we take every meal as a sacred moment to fuel our sacred temple. We think eating is a great celebration and a responsibility.
And I know, we're pretty big. We barbecue up here.
Yeah, you do.
We love our barbecue up here too. And I was wondering if you had any grill tips for us wannabe grill masters up here.
Well, I've spent a lot of wonderful, what I will call sacred campfires up in Canada. Those are my blood brothers up there, man. And I got to tell you, everywhere I go in Canada, people understand there's a great hunting, fishing, and trapping lifestyle in Canada. I have a great relationship with those natural, organic people of the good Mother Earth. And when you put all the effort forth to get that deer, to kill that bear, to kill that moose, to catch that big fish, to catch that little fish, even my buddies up there that shoot woodchucks, the groundhogs, there's a way to handle that flesh where it provides not only the healthiest nutrition in the world, but but the most delicious barbecue you'll ever eat in your life. And it's all about keeping, first of all, those of us that kill our own food, we know where it came from. We know that it's natural and organic and renewable. It really is sacred flesh. So the Nugent family only eats what we kill ourselves. And the whole world could learn from my wife, Shemaine, if they watch our Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild show on Outdoor Channel. They'll see that the way we handle that sacred flesh that God gives us as a gift on every hunting trip, well, on most hunting trips, that it's about clean, cold, fresh, natural, and handled with tender, loving care over natural hot coals with minimal ingredients, minimal seasonings and spices, because wild game is the most delicious and the healthiest food in the world. And just to be sure everybody understands, Ryan, my name is Ted Nugent. I'm 63 years clean and sober, and I eat nothing but fresh wild game, and I will take on anybody, rocking and rolling, or anything else anytime.
Do you have a favorite place to hunt up here in Canada?
You know, I've hunted around Bob Cajun for bear. In fact, the last concert of I Still Believe Tour 2011 is in Minnesota on September 4th. And the next morning, Ryan, my beautiful wife, Shemaine, and I will grab our Spirit of the Wild TV cameras and fly into Wawa, Ontario.
Right on.
The night after our last concert, we will be in a tree stand hunting those magnificent sacred black bears of Canada.
Right on.
How cool is that, huh?
That sounds fantastic.
And then the beautiful thing about it is that we will hunt every day. I will hunt every day, September 5th, right into March of 2012. I guide and outfit. I hunt every day. I film for our award-winning Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild TV show on Outdoor Channel. And I love hunting everywhere. But I got to tell you, I hope Canadians never take for granted that they live in the lap of God. My goodness, I hunt New Brunswick and Saskatchewan and Quebec and Ontario and Nova Scotia. I mean, I love hunting Canada. You live in paradise up there. And your game department, your Ministry of Natural Resources, have done a pretty good job. In many instances, they've done a damn good job. But there's a few mistakes they've made because of silly social pressure that is anti-nature. For example, Canada should have a spring bear season, and they should have more bear tags because you have too many bears. But the bottom line is I'd like to salute the great game wardens and the great biologists and scientists of the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources and the Canadian Ministry of Natural Resources. You're doing a damn good job up there, and I thank you.
Ted, I just, before I let you go, I know that when people mention the name Ted Nugent, there are certain images that come to mind. You've kind of been called a controversial figure in the past. What do you think the biggest misconception about you is?
I don't think there are any misconceptions. I think there are a lot of liars out there that will lie to you. But let me put it this way, since it's so poignant, Ryan. Today, my office, like pretty much, well, certainly every week, but probably every other day of the year, we are contacted by families of the military and families of terminally ill children. They have invited the Motor City Madman, yours truly, the guitar player, the political activist, the person who the animal rights people and the anti-gun people and the ultra-liberal people will call a devil. They'll call me a monster. They'll call me a murderer. They literally have called me a child molester. Well, families who are about to say goodbye to their little son and their 7-year-old daughter, they call me and invite me to take their dying child on their last fishing trip and their last hunting trip. It's happened every year since the late 1960s. And families who are bringing home flag-draped coffins, I'm actually listed in the will of military heroes that they want Ted Nugent to be at their memorial service. Let me put it to you this way, Ryan. If I pass the scrutiny and the muster and the spiritual considerations of families saying goodbye to their young sons and daughters and saying goodbye and thanking their sons and daughters for serving this country and giving their lives to fight evil, if I'm okay with those people, Ryan, obviously my critics are brain dead. If you find someone that has a problem with Ted Nugent, you are looking at a soulless idiot. I rest my case. Well,
I know I have my brother's in the military in Canada up here, and I know that your dedication to the boys in uniform is certainly felt around the world, I think.
Well, bottom line is, Ryan, I would challenge everybody, anybody, anywhere, anytime, debate me live. You attack me and debate me and condemn me live, and I won't even have to respond, because the people who hate me, the people who condemn me, are such fools. They can't come up with anything honest. They make things up and they lie about me. So bring it on. That's a challenge to you, Ryan. I will do live on your show anytime. Anybody that wants to debate me or challenge me, I will take them on anytime, and I'll bring lots of rope, because that's what I'll be supplying as they wrap it around their neck, throw it over a rafter, and jump off the chair. Because only dopers and drug experimenters, or people that look, sound, and smell like dopers and drug experimenters, have any problem with Ted Nugent whatsoever, and they can kiss my dead dog's ass.
Well, I don't think there's any hostility. I think there's nothing but love for you up here, Ted.
Oh, I feel the love, baby. The love is overwhelming, and I want to say this. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, rock and rollers. Thank you, my spirit of the wild blood brothers in the lap of God in Canada. Yes, you're absolutely right, Ryan. People who love truth and logic, people who love goodwill and decency, people who love passion and heart and soul and dedication to be productive and being the best that you can be, they get along just fine with your old Uncle Ted, and I love them madly.
What can fans expect from the show tomorrow night?
Well, Ryan, you can expect insanity. Mick Brown on drums, he's the greatest drummer in the world. Greg Smith on bass guitar is an absolute funk brother animal. Derek St. Holmes has the pipes and the chops that everybody dreams they get to jam with. I'm the luckiest guitar player in the world. These guys are so gifted, so talented, so passionate about every song, every concert, every lick, every jam. People will witness the highest energy, tightest band in the world. They've never seen anything like this. The intensity of my band and my music is indescribable. I've never had more fun on tour in my life. And Ryan, that's really, really saying something, because I've always had insane amounts of fun. But there's a fire and a piss and vinegar in our music this year that eclipses even last year's, which was off the charts. So people are going to have the time of their life. They're going to dance to this jungle rhythm music. The black musical heritage of America and the world is in every one of our songs, and we celebrate it with everything we have. People are in for the greatest rhythm and blues, rock and roll, intense rock show they've ever seen in their lives.
Ted, I can't thank you for all the time you've given us today. I can't wait for the show tomorrow night, and I know there's going to be a throng of massive Ted Nugent fans that are going to be there just ready to rock out.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, Toronto. Thank you, everybody up there. I got my buddy Todd up there, the guitar birdland master. I got Andy and all the guys. I got my hunting buddies. I got my fishing buddies. I got my shooting buddies. I got my spirit of the wild buddies. I got my rock and roll animal buddies up there. God bless Canada. God bless all my blood brothers. And thanks for the time to communicate this, Ryan. I really love the spirit and the attitude of all my friends up there in Canada.
Well, thank you so much, Ted. Have yourself a fantastic day, and we'll look forward to the show tomorrow.
All right, Ryan. Godspeed and barbecue like you mean it, man.
Will do.
Live it up.
Take care.